Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, after all the good news and everything that we covered over the weekend with Royal Caribbean, celebrity, the Biden administration talking about opening up travel, lessening border restrictions and all these kind of things, is it time for me to come back down to earth a little bit after this interview with an Alaska congresswoman and the CDC, the person in charge of the CDC? A lot of people messaged me and asked me, what do I think this, and I said, okay, let me watch the whole thing. So you know what? I'm going to play a segment of it right now, and then I'm going to jump in and tell you exactly my thoughts, shall we say.
Category when it comes to health and our statistics, but we're number one. We have moved out early in terms of the vaccination of Alaskans. Right now, it's 18.9% that are fully vaccinated, 28% have received their first vaccine. We have some communities that are approaching 90% vaccination. So we're pretty proud of that. The rest of the country is looking at the model as to how we were able to do it, open it up to everybody over 16. So I think you're looking at that. You don't perhaps need to follow the model of us delivering the vaccine to the clinics by way of snow machine with a sled in back, but the model is good. And it's one that has demonstrated how quickly we can move out. Now,
I'm going to jump in here. I just want to say, way to go, Alaska. A huge populace already vaccinated, a huge populace already fully vaccinated in a state that's very hard to get around. Like you just can't hop on the I-95 and drive from place to place. It's a lot harder to get around down there, especially the smaller communities and the indigenous population that's up there. And now that they're saying that they've actually opened up to every person in Alaska, 16 or over, I think she said. And here in Canada, it's 18 and over, but good job, Alaska. Let's give some praise to praise. Good job, Alaska.
And the vaccines, shots in arms, has given us a kind of a ray of hope here. Spring's coming, vaccines are getting in arms, and people are feeling better, but the economy is still struggling. And the guidance that seems to be coming is not perhaps consistent with what we're seeing on the ground, or this is what Alaskans are sharing with me. We have a significant tourist industry. We welcome people to come up. We want them to be safe. We are going to encourage all of the continuing protocols. But
all right, let's go in there. So yes, significant tourism industry is an understatement when you're talking about Alaska. And she's saying that, what we're seeing in actual reality, compared to the guidance that the CDC has been giving to the cruise lines, they don't line up and they don't match up. Like the guidance for fully vaccinated people don't line up with the cruise lines' current situation and guidelines. So there is a lot of confusion out there from not only Alaskans, but everybody in North America is a lot of confused by what the CDC is coming out with right now. And let's see if we get some answers.
We've been struggling in trying to get the economy back on track when 60% of your tourists that come to the state of Alaska come by cruise ship. We've got a conditional no sale order, or a conditional sale order in place. It's effectively a no sale order. Dr. Walensky, we've had an opportunity to speak with folks on your team. Alaskans aren't pushing to say, don't send people our way if it's not safe. Don't use this if it's not safe. But what they are asking for is some kind of guidance in terms of timeline. It's the timeline so that you can know to plan. Do we go ahead and the hundreds of small businesses that are reliant on these tourists coming up, do they open up, or do they acknowledge that this is going to be the second season in a year where they will have nothing? and effectively know whether to shutter their operations now. So when we're talking about health impacts, we all want to make sure that we're following the guidance and the science and all that comes with it. But there's also this recognition of the economic impact. Certainty is helpful. We haven't had much certainty with this virus, and it's been challenging. Can you give me any kind of guidance to give Alaskans in terms of what we might be able to expect with where this guidance is in the process?
Okay. So we don't want you to send everybody if it's not safe. We want to follow the guidelines that are out there. We want to keep everybody safe. But we want some kind of guidance to a timeline, not just complete silence like we've had basically since March of last year. Even when they lifted the no sail order, there's been silence. They came up with that red light, green light system that crew members can get on and off if there have been no cases for 28 days, etc. And since then, we've had nothing. All the changes and all the upgrades done on the cruise ships have been instigated by the cruise lines. They're the ones who have set up labs. They're the ones who have instigated new cleaning procedures. They're the ones who have introduced new filtration systems for the air systems. They're the ones who've done that all on their own without one single guideline yet from the CDC officially. The CDC has hinted around that those would be some good things, but they still haven't put them in any kind of a document or anything like that. They haven't even come up with testing, saying that you need to have testing beforehand. These were for the crew. These weren't for us yet. So we're still waiting on them. So she's out and out asking a timeline. Can you give us a timeline? That's all we're asking. Some sort of guidance in the timeline that we can expect to start opening. Or do we tell all of our Alaskan businesses that for a second year, they have to do no business? And that's a pretty strong question.
When you say later, does that mean at the end of 2021? Does it mean in 3 months? Does it mean in 1 month? What kind of guidance can you provide when it comes to the CDC's order as it relates to the conditional sail order?
Thank you for that question. First of all, I understand the economic impact of the no sail, the conditional sail, and the travel, and so we don't take that lightly.
Okay. This part annoys me because every time somebody is asked a question from the CDC about jobs, livelihoods, businesses going under, they all say the exact same thing. You know, we really commiserate with those people. We really understand. We really do. We know all that. We feel for you. Meanwhile, they all have work. And in fact, they've probably been busier now since the pandemic than they've ever been. So you take that with a big grain of salt. We're making a lot of money right now, and we have our jobs, but we really feel for, those people making $8 an hour up in Alaska selling souvenir shops. We feel for you. It drives me nuts now. You know what, CDC? If she would say, I'm working for the CDC and I'm not being paid to do it until this pandemic is over, then I would have a lot of respect for all the people in charge. But not a single one has ever done it and never will. So yeah, take all that with a grain of salt. They all say the exact same thing. Whenever anyone's asked, why are you shutting down our businesses? Why am I out of a job? Well, we really feel for you. We really, really do. Stop saying it, because it's pandering now.
We have provided technical assistance on the conditional sail, where we've provided a 4-phase strategy for how we could get sail open. We are in phase 1 of that, moving towards phase.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you see? Did you see the slight way she worded that? We have provided the cruise lines with guidance. Assistance. Assistance is what she said. We have provided the cruise lines with assistance to reopening. We've provided them with a 4-phase plan to open up. It's us. We're the good guys in the cruising industry. Everybody in the travel industry. We are giving them assistance to be able to open. Hotels can open, resorts can open, theme parks can open, zoos can open, everything can open. But cruise lines can't open. Airlines can run international flights. No restrictions, no problem, for a year. But we're providing assistance with the cruise lines that we've kept closed for a year without providing any assistance whatsoever. So don't be fooled by that rhetoric. They're not providing assistance. They are providing restrictions to open up the cruise industry. They're not helping the cruise line. If they were going to be helping the cruise line, we would have had some test cruises going by now. Even if they can't sail, at least the test cruises would have gone and they could have checked all the onboard procedures that are going on to make sure that they're satisfactory for when they're ready to open. But we haven't even had that. You see how I'm getting worked up? Stop coming up with these pandering comments. We're providing assistance. You're not providing assistance. You're the restrictions holding back the cruise industry. You have a 4-layer plan that they have to follow in order to get your approval to open. It's not assistance, it's restrictions. So right away, that's a lie. So I'm calling you out right now. That's a lie.
This is an interagency decision. It is not a decision solely up to the CDC. So I would be remiss if I was able to do that by myself because the decision is not solely up to us. What I will
Second phase, going to that second phase, can you give me some indicator in terms of a timeline there?
I can't simply because I don't believe it's solely in our jurisdiction to address. It's not necessarily
Oh my God.
CDC.
So who else?
When it came to shutting down the cruise industry, it was the CDC's decision. When it came to extending the no-sail order, it was the CDC's decision. When it came to issuing the framework for sailing, it was the CDC's responsibility. Now that it's coming to open, it's all these different companies, everybody. Everybody else has... the Library of Wisconsin has to have their input. And, the Hotel Association in Missouri has to have their input. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Even if there's all these different government departments involved in making the decision, you guys are running it. You guys are leading what to do for the framework of sailing. You have the conditional sail order out. Not Transport Canada, not the federal government, not the state governments, not Congress, nobody else, just the CDC. So stop trying to pass the buck to other people and start working and doing what's right. Because right now, you guys are looking like fools. Now you're doing the pass the buck game. It's like your politicians now. It wasn't us, it was the guys before us. We're trying to fix everything. We're assisting the cruise lines. But you know what? That other government department over there, they're hard. They're just not letting us do it, everybody. We have to wait for them. No, you don't. You guys are the one who have the framework for sailing out. You're the ones who are providing the technical guidance to the cruise lines. It's on your website. It's not on Transport Canada's website. It's not on the federal government's website. It's not on the state legislature's website. It's on your website, and it's blank. You've had 5 months to give technical guidance. or in your words, assistance to the cruise lines. You're not doing it. You're hiding from it. I hope the government steps in and takes the responsibility completely away from you and says, you know what? We're going to just open up because the vaccines are here now and the populace is vaccinated. Because if we leave it up to you guys have been totally incompetent when it comes to the cruise lines. Totally. Man, I didn't want to start my Monday like this.
Is part of the decision-making process then beyond CDC.
Look at the expression on the Congresswoman's face. That is a look of complete confusion. Just like everybody else listening. Yes, the Coast Guard is going to have an input. Yes, the port authorities are going to have an input. But they're not leading. They're not leading the framework. The CDC is leading the framework, and they just have to say, get us your recommendations by Monday of this day, and we're going forward from there. So all this passing the buck, saying there's a whole bunch of governmental, it's garbage. It's complete garbage. Let's face it, right? Let's call a spade a spade. Let's get the truth out there. This is just hiding behind the question, and even Congresswoman looks totally confused by the answer from the head of the CDC. That is not a look of, oh, I get it. I understand now. That's like, what are you talking about?
I believe Department of Transportation, OMB, there are numerous others that are making these decisions.
I want to follow up with you, and I know we have an opportunity for that later, and I'll look forward to that. But again, you need to see.
I used to watch a show that was on for about 3 seasons, and it was called Lie to Me. And what it was is this expert who could read facial expressions and tell whether or not you're lying or hiding the truth or something like that. Well, the Congresswoman's face was clear that it was obviously confusion. I don't understand the words coming out of your mouth right now. And then when you look at Dr. Walensky's face right here, that's the look of, please don't ask me another question because I really don't know anything. Like this whole interview speaks for itself on the competence of what's going on with the cruise lines. So the senator let her off the hook. She saw that, well, I'm not going to be able to get any answers from her because every answer I ask is going to be, I don't know, it's somebody else's decision, we can't say, we have no idea. And so she let her off the hook and said, we're going to talk about this privately. Because when they said, so what other departments are in charge? What other departments? Oh, well, Ministry of Transport and others. Others are in charge. What, you can't think of them? I can probably think about 15 off the top of my head that might have some input. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're running the show. Let's face it, the CDC is running the show when it comes to restarting cruise lines, and they haven't done anything so far. They might come out tomorrow with those guidances for the cruise line, the technical guidances, and prove me completely wrong. But right now, all signs everywhere show that they have no interest in cruise lines whatsoever, opening safely or not. Because every other country is eyeing other places to go now. The UK is open up. Italy is opening up. Genting Cruise Line's getting ready to set sail 2 other additional ships. Australia's looking at starting up Australian-only cruise ships. We're going to the Bahamas. We're going to the St. Thomas. We're going everywhere else except the United States. And guess what? They've been able to do it safely. They've been able to do it completely safe. And there are more guidelines and more procedures in place than there have ever been. So yeah, for them to just come out and say, we don't know, other people, everybody, other people, please don't ask us, we don't know what we're doing, is complete garbage. So yeah, I'm probably going to get some phone calls on this from them, and some letters. But you know what? Until you prove me wrong, I'm right. So, it's getting ridiculous. It's absolutely getting ridiculous. When you ask a straight up question, so do you have any kind of semblance of timeline of when we can start? I don't think it's up to me. I don't think it's up to me, everybody. There's so many people with input. I can't say. You know what that says? That says to me, they're nowhere near giving out technical guidances to the cruise lines. And it's been 5 months. 5 months. Well, I guess I could rant for a long time on this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Does that sound like somebody who's in charge, who's running the situation, who knows exactly what they're doing and they have a game plan in place? Or does that sound like somebody who's just hoping this all goes away? Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button and more ranting, I guess. Such good news over the weekend, and then I hit with this.